My granny used to always say, use a bold-faced lie. She would call you out if you lied so quick, and she knew it. Like she knew as soon as you dropped the lie off your lips that you was not telling the truth. Grandma was a truth sleuth, as they call them. And one thing I've learned over the years from being around different people is that everybody either lies or has lied. One of the two. Some people don't believe in it, like myself. I don't believe in it, so I stopped lying. But I have. And I think many of us know. In the past, I definitely have. I told all kinds of creepy untruths, and I'm getting ready to tell you about them right now. But the thing about it is that there are 14 reasons that Sarah Kuburik, that's her name. She's my millennial therapist on Instagram. She gave us a list of 14 reasons why a lot of people do lie, the ones that do. And of course, like I said, some people who've done it in the past. So we're going to check out these 14 reasons why. And you can tell me in the comments section if you've done any of these or if you have any other ones to add to it, because it could be some other reasons that aren't on this list. So let's do the introduction and then let's talk about these lying asses. I am Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to everybody and anybody that you know too, okay? Drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read 2 positive comments and respond to them, okay? If you would like to become my patron on Patreon, I would be ecstatic. So please check out that link underneath this video. If you would like to become a member here on the YouTube channel, I just started the membership. If you would like to, please check it out. It's the little button that says join. All you have to do is hit the button and you can read all about it before you make your decision. Okay? All right, let's talk about this lying. 14 reasons why we lie. Number 1. The first reason she says is that a lot of people lie to avoid consequences that come with the truth. So, for example, if you've cheated on your lover, which is a very common one, or if you've lied or done something that you had no business doing, a lot of people don't want to deal with the consequences. They don't want to face the music. They'll do the act, whatever that act may be, but they don't want to deal with the truth of those consequences because they already know they shouldn't have done it in the first place. And if whoever, their mother, their wife, their husband, their father, if whoever finds out what they've done, then 9 times out of 10, the consequences could be detrimental. They don't even really usually know what the consequences are. For example, if a woman cheats on her husband, you don't really know what he might do. He might not do anything. He might just leave you. He might kick your butt. You know, he might try to harm you and your side piece. You never know what he's going to do. He might not say anything. He might forgive you. You don't know what's going to happen in that situation. But most of us think worst case scenario, so we get scared of what the consequences might be. We don't even know what they're definitely going to be, but we know they're not going to be good. And they're not going to be something that we want to deal with. So this is 100% true. Number 2, to cover up a previous lie. This is why lying is so bad. Because once you tell a lie, you not only have to remember the lie, but then you have to tell more lies in many cases to cover up the lie. So I've come to find that it takes a lot more energy to keep these lies going than it does to just tell the truth. It's just so much easier. To prevent someone's feelings from getting hurt. Now, this happens a lot. You know, let's say that you are with somebody. This is a very good example. I've seen this one a lot when I do readings. You could be seeing somebody, you know, romantically speaking, a lover, and maybe you're not really feeling them and you want to step off, but you don't know how to say it. And they keep asking you, is it me? Are you angry with me? Is something wrong? And you not saying anything, or you're just like, no, I'm cool, or no, everything is good, but you're not being honest with them. In some cases, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you're still hurting their feelings. You're hurting their feelings anyway because you're not being honest with them and they know something is wrong. A person, and this is one thing I had to learn about life, a person may not have any evidence about what's going on, but people do feel what's going on. So if you're being dishonest in any way, 9 times out of 10, the person you're being dishonest with knows you're being dishonest. They just can't figure out what, and they can't put their finger on it, and they have no evidence. So most people leave it alone, but they know your ass lying. They know it. So just go ahead and nicely, politely tell people the truth. To prevent someone else from being punished. Well, this happens sometimes. Let's say your little brother does something and you know your mama gonna snap. You know your mother is going to snap, okay? So instead of telling on them, you don't want to see them get in trouble. You don't want to see your mom snap. So you don't say anything, or you omit the truth, or you cover it up for your sibling or whoever it is, because you don't want to see them get in trouble. So it's not that you're worried about yourself, you're worried about the consequences for someone else, which is equally as bad, because now you're an accomplice. Now you're an accomplice to whatever bullshit they just did, okay? And that's not good, because now you're a part of it. So everybody's going to get punished when whoever ultimately finds out. To get a reward we don't deserve. So this could be just as simple as lying that you did something that you didn't do. I used to have this friend who would always take credit for things that I did. We worked together. And I didn't know at first. I didn't even peep it at first. But then it became obvious, because people would say to me, oh, so-and-so did this, or they suggested this, or they emailed about this. And I'd be like, I'm the one that said that. And I never told on this person, but it just made me fall back off him. Because I was like, yeah, you on some treachery. So I just wanted to get rewarded for my ideas and the things that I had come up with. And it was just like, dude, get your own rewards with your own ideas, So this does happen in a lot of different cases, especially with frenemies. Got to be careful with them frenemies. I cut frenemies to the quick. You can't be my friend and my enemy at the same time. Either you fuck with me or you don't, period. Let's see. To protect ourselves. So there are situations where you could be like in a life or death situation and you have to lie to get your way out of it. Would I say tell the truth in those situations? No. If it's life or death and you have to lie, go ahead and lie. And deal with it later. If somebody got a gun to your head and they like, look, if you don't tell me XYZ, I'm going to shoot you, tell them whatever you got to say to get home alive, okay? But at the same time, most of the time, it's not life or death. Most of the time, people are lying to just protect their situation. When I was messing with Voldemort, one day he said to me that he lied to his significant other. Because remember, I was seeing him, he was seeing another person, and I was seeing other people. And he lied to the person that he was in the long-term relationship with because he wanted to protect what he had. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what are you really protecting? You want to protect what? And it ended up not working because the person left him. I left him, she left him, It didn't work anyway. So it was like, what are you really protecting with this lie? Just tell the truth, fess up, and then work things out. People will trust you again in some cases if you do it that way. But if you keep lying, they're never going to trust you again. To avoid embarrassment. Okay, so you've made a really big mistake, like huge, and you don't want anybody to know because it's an embarrassing mistake. You know, you might have broken the law, for example, or you might have dealt with a woman or a man that you wasn't supposed to be dealing with. Maybe they were married or something like that. So you're lying to people to avoid that embarrassment. And I would say just don't do the embarrassing thing and then you don't have to lie about it. But, you know, this is very common. To manipulate or control others. This is the most common one that I see, especially when I'm doing readings. A lot of people that I see in the cards are lying because they want to manipulate this significant other or whoever the person is into thinking a certain way or doing a certain thing, such as gaslighting. So basically, they're trying to manipulate and control the situation. So I might tell you that I love you, I'm in love with you, I want to be with you because I want to keep you from seeing someone else. I was talking to someone the other day and she was like, you know, my boyfriend asked me, or at the time he wasn't her boyfriend. She was like, this guy asked me for an exclusive relationship, but he doesn't want an exclusive relationship. And it came out that he asked her so she wouldn't see anyone else. He didn't want to be with her. He didn't love her. He didn't want to be connected to her. He just didn't want to share her with anybody else. So he said whatever he had to say to get her to exclusively see him. Meanwhile, he's still seeing other people. So again, to manipulate and control her. To preserve our own denial, we want to believe a lie. So if you're in denial about something and you're lying to a bunch of people just to maintain that lie, and this happens a lot. Sometimes we are in denial. Not everybody, but at different points in our lives, some of us are in denial. And maybe we do have that lie going on up here, and we tell that lie to other people to keep perpetuating it. To avoid a negative outcome. This is very much like I said before with the consequences one. We don't want a negative outcome, so we don't tell the truth. But the bottom line is that we're going to get 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that negative outcome anyway. Most of the time when you lie, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. To make ourselves look better. So people do this. They embellish their resume. My resume used to be so embellished. It's not now because I've done stuff to put on the resume. But back in the dizzy, before I had done anything, my resume was so embellished. It made me look like I was this tectonic rock star who traveled the world and knew how to do everything. You know, I was a jack and an expert at all trades, you know. So it was totally embellished, but it made me look great, you know, but it wasn't true. And I'm sure most of the people that read it knew it wasn't true, you know. So it's one of those things. Some of us try to make ourselves look better. So instead of trying to make yourself look better through lies, make yourself look good through accomplishments. Accomplish things, and then you'll look better. To seek attention. Some people tell, you ever meet somebody who tell crazy lies? Like they tell lies for no reason. They just make up stories. The story will change. You know what I'm saying? They'll do all kinds of different things. And they'll tell these different lies and these extravagant stories, and they'll pull other people into it to try to make them lie for them. And all of it is to seek attention. When I was a very young girl, I knew this other young girl. We were like 18 at the time. And I remember that her sister and I became friends too. And her sister was telling me that she lied and said their uncle assaulted her when he didn't. Went to court and everything. And her story just kept changing. But everybody, they didn't want to believe she was lying about something like that. And it came out, she finally told the truth that she did. And when the psychologist talked to her, her sister told me that it was for attention. She was in a house full of kids. She really wasn't getting any attention. So she started to go for kids and adults too, but kids do this more often. If they can't get positive attention from you, positive reinforcement from you, they will go for the negative. So if they're, coming to you and saying, look, I got an A on my paper, or I did good in school today, and you seem uninterested, a lot of times they will go next to getting in trouble, doing negative things, lying on people. She wanted sympathy and she wanted attention from her family. And she got it, but she also got her uncle arrested and he never spoke to her again. So it was really, really messed up. And it was a very cruel thing to do to someone who hadn't done anything wrong. Then she set a fire a couple months later. She set a fire for the same reason and lied and said her sister did it. So she was constantly doing little devious things to get attention and ended up in juvenile detention. And I met her at 18 years old after all this had happened and she was out. And her sister was like, dog, don't mess with her, yo. And it was funny to me because most of the time a sister or a family member won't tell you stuff like this. But me and the sister got really cool and she spilled it. To inflict revenge. I used to be the kind of person that would pull a caper. I'd pull a caper in a heartbeat. And most of the times, capers are for revenge. So if you got a bad temper or you immature, you might do something like that. So you might tell some lies on people to get revenge. So somebody does something to you at work, for example. I've never experienced this, but I've heard it from other people. One of my clients was saying to me that her coworker had gotten angry with another coworker for some type of infraction and then started to go and lie to their supervisor about her not doing her assignments. And in truth, she was doing her assignments, but this other coworker was messing up her work. So they were working in a nursing home. So let's say she would go in and she would do the dishes. They were in some kind of a dietary position. So she would go do the dishes. I think she had to do other things like that. So the lady was telling me one day, the one woman had put all her pies into the oven. It was pies for dinner. And the other woman went and turned off the oven. So when it was time to eat, the pies were still frozen. And then she told the supervisor that the other woman never, heated up the pies and got her wrote up for it. So this is something that she did for revenge. They had words in the past. She didn't like her. There it is. Me personally, I'm like, that's messed up. That's really messed up. And the last one is to hide our insecurities. Have you ever told somebody something and they blatantly lied? Like they had some type of insecurity about what it is. And you could think about it. We all have had or have some type of insecurity in our lifetime. So a lot of people don't want people to know what they're insecure about. They want to hide it. And that's a very common response to it. But me personally, I'm at the point in my life where I don't care. If I'm insecure about something, I'll say I'm insecure about it and work through the insecurity. But everybody doesn't do that, as they probably should. But they don't. A lot of people will be insecure about their height, their weight, their abilities, their gender, their money. They'll be insecure about all kinds of things. I know, in the hood, I used to know this guy. And the guy was always bragging about how much money he made, and he'd be bragging about what he did. And he would just be bragging and bragging. Oh, I make 6 figures. I'm dating this person. I'm friends with P. Diddy. I'm going to a concert. I'll be up in the Hamptons. And we all was like, when? We see you every day. When does any of this take place? It didn't. He was just insecure about where he was in life. So instead of just getting to where he wanted to get to and then being able to say whatever he wanted to say, he was just lying and pretending. But the bad part was everybody knew. Like I said, a lot of times when there's deception, everybody knows. So the whole hood knew that he was not doing all these things. We knew he didn't make six figures. If you make six figures, why are you borrowing $5 from me for a pack of cigarettes? It doesn't even make any sense. If you making six figures, why don't you have a car? You know, if you making six figures, why you got a one, not even a one bedroom, an efficiency in the hood, unhappy? That doesn't make sense to me. If you had six figures, you would be living, I mean, anywhere with six figures, you know? And not to say that it was a bad neighborhood or he shouldn't be living there. I like the neighborhood. But the point was that he was insecure about the neighborhood. So he pretended to be bigger than what he was. He was telling people at his job, his real job, because mind you, he was pretending that he was making all this money, but he was really working at UPS. UPS. You ain't making no six figures and you work at UPS. I'm sorry. So he was working there and telling the people at UPS that he lived in Society Hill. Society Hill is it used to be a really nice part of Philadelphia. I haven't been there in years, but it was really nice the last time I was there. So he was telling people at UPS he lived in Society Hill. But truth be told, he lived right there in West Wayne with everybody else. So it was just because he was insecure about it. And there was really nothing to be insecure about, but you know, he wanted to be Big Willie, as we used to call him back in the day. So it was what it was. So those are the reasons why a lot of people lie. So tell me, have you ever done any of these? I think I've done many of these, if not all of these. I don't know if I ever lied really for attention because I always got too much attention. So I probably didn't do all of them, but I have definitely done many of these. So let me know if you have any to add to this list. All right, now this one is I am Kiko. I think that's Kiko. Hey, how you doing? I am Kiko said, and with freedom comes escape. This one, laugh out loud. You made my day, Q. Yeah, freedom. Aquarius are really big on freedom, definitely. And if we gotta escape, we definitely will. James Irby. Hey James, how you doing? James says, don't tell our secrets, Queen. It's too late, James. This whole channel is telling our secrets. Anybody who is paying attention just by watching these videos, and mind you, every Aquarius doesn't act exactly the same, but anybody who's paying attention, is a lot of information there, so it's too late. Maybe it'll help people not do simple things that upset us. Maybe not. We'll see. But you guys come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.